This video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Montenegro, including tips around beaches, food, talk you through the things and activities to do here, also give you transportation tips. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, then please do so, as it makes a huge difference to a small channel like ours. Let's talk about location first. Now, Montenegro is actually located in the southeast Europe. It is surrounded by Bosnia to one side, Serbia to another, Kosovo to the east, Albania to the southeast, and Croatia to the northwest. So really, speaking about transportation, it really does make sense for you to have maybe flown into another country. Now, we actually flew to Dubrovnik, and that was very close to Montenegro. So Dubrovnik, if you know, is literally on the end of Croatia, and because the flights were cheaper to Dubrovnik, we then got the bus from Dubrovnik to Montenegro Kotor. Again, buses are quite cheap, so you can actually have this transfer, and you can also book private transfers. And when you actually do drive into this country, the views are incredible. This was our first look into Montenegro from the bus that we actually got from Dubrovnik to Kotor. So a question might be, well, why didn't we fly directly into Montenegro? Firstly, Montenegro airport is actually very expensive, and there are not a lot of flights that directly fly to Montenegro, and that's why flying to Dubrovnik worked well for us, and it also gave us a chance to explore Dubrovnik. Also, the Kotor bus station, which is where we actually traveled to from Dubrovnik, was in a great location. It was in city center, very close to everything, and also we became familiar with using the buses, and this is where you can actually get buses to other parts of the country, and we highly recommend you doing this to explore the country and see many different places. The buses are affordable and they are comfortable as well, and you do also get amazing views from the window like this one here. You just are absolutely blown away. Montenegro is so stunning. In terms of taxis, the taxis are much cheaper than other places in Europe. However, with that being said, you will be spending a lot of time stuck in traffic, especially because Montenegro tends to have a lot of guests coming from the cruise ships, and with it being quite small and the roads not being the best, you are going to be stuck in traffic a lot of the times, and a lot of your money will be spent just you waiting in traffic, whereas you could walk and actually save that money, and places are actually walkable distance too. In terms of actually hotels, now hotels in Montenegro tend to be expensive in their high season, and the high season tends to actually start from May till September, and this is also the season where they tend to see the most sunshine. We stayed in a hotel called Kotor. We were actually working with the hotel, otherwise we would have actually not been able to afford to stay here. Now, don't get us wrong, the hotel is incredible, but this might be out of your budget, especially when a night here can sometimes cost up to £300 or £400. But the hotel is incredible, and it has amazing facilities, a gym, kids area for you to go off and enjoy while someone looks after your kid. There's amazing spa, there is a boutique, the views are incredible, the room was incredible, it smelled lovely, and also just the swimming pool and the other facilities in this hotel was so lovely. We loved actually seeing the sunset from our balcony or the swimming pool area every single night, and they also had a private beach, and who doesn't love a hotel with a private beach? Now, going on to beaches, the beaches here are not like the beaches you would expect really in a sunny place. They can be quite cold, but they do look very pretty, and the water is just so clear. So actually don't expect a good beach, but you might be lucky to have it if you did stay in a good hotel. Going on to talking about the food, now you can actually get food in the hotels you stay in, but that's again going to be very expensive. Here is an example. This is actually a restaurant that was at the Kotor Bay Hotel, and this is all vegetarian food. So everything here you see is vegetarian, and we really liked it, but it was very pricey. Here is another example. This was another restaurant in our hotel, and again all vegetarian food, but this will easily cost you at least £100 to £200. The breakfast, we would actually encourage you to get buffet with the hotel if you want to save money, or go to local shops, and also go to markets. There is a market in Kotor pretty much every single day. Go there to get fresh fruit or fresh vegetables if you want to save money, and if you don't want to do any of that and want to save even more money, go to a local Aldi or Hofer store and actually get croissants or pastries or breakfast items if you're staying in an Airbnb, and that is one one of the best ways to save money. Sometimes we used to go there for some water bottles, for a day, for some snacks to keep us going. And truly, the prices are actually not that bad in Montenegro, at least not as bad as Dubrovnik. And there is a budget saving tip for you there. If you have any questions, then do leave a comment down below, and I do tend to be responsive as much as I can. So in terms of ice cream or gelato, you can go to the Old Town, but again, it is going to be quite pricey, so you could go to a local store. Now moving on to gifts, I would recommend actually getting it from duty free. We don't drink alcohol, but the alcohol was the cheapest at the airport if that's what you're looking to give to people. Moving on to things to do, you can do kayaking, you can do other water activities organized by your hotel. A cheap, or let's say budget friendly activity for you to do is actually walk up the city walls. Now the city walls are one of the most famous things to do in Kotor, and especially if you're staying or visiting Kotor, I would highly recommend it for the views, for the experience, for the adventure, and just to actually do something more thrilling or adventure based as well. And you will also lose a lot of calories, so we would recommend doing this just before sunset, so you can get an amazing sunset view from the top as well. I would recommend going or starting your journey at least 2 hours before, so you can get some rest as you go up as well, and just get a beautiful view of the sunset, and the ticket's not too bad. Next up, I would highly recommend a boat trip. You really can't leave Montenegro without a boat trip. We did a boat trip, a whole day trip from Kotor, and went to places like the like Perast or Lady of Rocks, you can see there, and we had an amazing tour guide. Now we are going to put a link down below for all our tours that we did, our day trips and activities, and if you click on the same link or save it, they will take you to one of the most cheapest activity, and we would highly recommend you booking with the same tour guides because they were absolutely amazing. One of the best, if not the best, tour guides that we had from all the places we've visited. So in terms of a boat trip, they can take you to places like the Lady of the Rocks, as you can see here. So we were able to go inside. Then our lovely tour guides and our guides gave us amazing information, and talked through lots of historic points that we wouldn't have otherwise known, and we got some time to look at the beautiful views and just really take it all in. Montenegro, as I said before, is stunning and really it's an underrated place. You can even go for a swim if you go on a boat ride, and you will then also go past many historic viewpoints like this one here, which used to be a concentration camp but now a 5-star hotel. Another thing I would recommend you to do while you're in Montenegro is go to the Blue Cave. I wasn't able to go on this particular day because the water was freezing, but people did go, so I have no footage from it, unfortunately. But the Blue Cave is very famous, and people tend to come here from Croatia as well. Overall, I would highly recommend these tours that we booked, as I said, and I will put the link down below. I think they are a great way to socialize, get to know people, have fun, and at the same time explore amazing new places, like in this case Montenegro. Now next up on the list, I would highly recommend you visit Porto Montenegro. It is another city, so it is a bit further away from Kotor, but it has lovely food, and it is actually affordable. Sometimes Kotor can not really be affordable. They've got amazing pastry shops and dessert shops. Here you can see an example of one, and the dessert did not disappoint, and it was actually not badly priced either. We thought the price was really standard for European countries. This is one of the more posh areas of Montenegro. So Porto Montenegro is a new, highly developed place. It's still developing with lots of expensive yachts, and also very rich people and very rich shops as well. When I say rich, I mean you have to be clearly very rich to shop in these high street shops or designer shops. You'll find all the designer shops there, so you can visit Porto Montenegro to get a different feel of Montenegro. Overall, you can do a little bit of kind of everything in most parts of Montenegro. They have got different things going on in the country. We decided to do a north of Montenegro tour, so you can see here going from the bottom to the top, and the first stop on this tour was actually going to a viewpoint, which is where they call it the Bay of Kotor viewpoint, and you get a view of the whole Kotor Bay. And then next up on that tour trip was actually us visiting Nikšić, which is actually the second largest place in Montenegro, and we made a stop there for some traditional breakfast or snacks, but there is much more you can do here. You've got amazing viewpoints again, you've got traditional food here, and a lot of people, actually Montenegrin people or people from Montenegro, stay in Nikšić, so it's a great place to actually be familiar with the traditions, the history, get to know the people who've lived here for a very long time, and get to know unfortunately the tragedies of people that have lived in the Balkans as well. Next up, I would highly recommend you do visit the Tara River. Now the canyon there is actually the second largest in the world and the largest in Europe, and they've got zip lining there too. So another thing to do in Montenegro is do a zip line over the canyon. It is a bit pricey, it's about £30 per person. I am recalling that from memory, and you can also pay extra for photos as well. It's just a thrilling activity to do if you're looking for some thrill or adventure things to do in Montenegro. And as always, I will put the link down below, but really it's just a nice place. It's a very cool place, and you can walk around the bridge. You do have to pay a fee to walk over it, which I found really strange, but I guess the money goes towards keeping the bridge safe for restoration work and so on. But the views were really incredible here. There was just so much greenery, and the river, which was turquoise blue color water, was just beautiful. It's one of the most cleanest and beautiful waters that I have seen, and you can even do rafting here depending on the season. So again, we'll put a link down below if that's something that you would like to do in Montenegro. Next up, another thing to do in Montenegro is visit the Deror National Park. A little secret here, you can actually see bears. Now, we never saw any bears, and they're not actually very likely to be seen, but they do exist, and there are bears there. And there are beautiful mountain views, as you can see here, and in the summer when the ice melts, they actually form really nice rivers that you can see, and there is just so much greenery. Again, we were so impressed with how stunning the landscapes are in Montenegro. Really, we did not expect to have a site like this. It is just breathtaking. It was so cool and fresh. The air here was wonderful, and we just loved walking around. There are some waterfalls you can find here. There are lots of trails. There are little kind of rivers flowing. You will even find some fish in these waters, and just truly an amazing place we recommend for you to visit. Next up, I would recommend visiting the Ostrog Monastery. Now, this monastery is actually a very historic site. Now, I know it might not be at the top of your list unless you kind of do like visiting religious places, but I would recommend visiting it for the history as well. It does have a lot of history, and many famous people visit this place from all around the world. Next on our list, I would highly recommend you visit Sveti Stefan. This is the luxury hotel where no one is allowed to go or visit unless you actually do pay a lot of money to stay there. However, that doesn't stop you to go there to actually go and see one of the beaches that surround this 5-star hotel, and also go outside and just have a look at how stunning this place is. It is also one of the most photographed places in Montenegro, so why not? Now, moving on to the weather. The weather in Montenegro can truly change dramatically. Please bear that in mind, as sometimes tours might be cancelled very close to the time and rearranged because it rains here quite a lot. Now, this was in the hot season, end of May, June last year. And as you can see, we were stuck on a boat. It was an adventure, but we were very anxious. There was lightning, there was rain, and then literally a few hours later it would be sunny. So please be prepared for that. And the weather seems to be changing quite a lot anyway, due to climate change, but especially in Montenegro, you don't expect it to basically be sunny every single day in the hot weather. You will experience a lot of rain, showers, you will experience a lot of lightning. It did rain a little bit at least every single day we were there, but make the most of it like our kind of people that joined us on the tour did here. It was a lot of fun. If you did like this video, then please do subscribe to our channel. It is a small channel that we have, and we are truly trying to grow, and every subscriber would make a huge difference to us. And also do leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and use the links below that we have actually put down for you to book your activities. See you in the next video. Take care until then.